Legends. Now click the streamer Rooney enter. I think we're all live and ready to rock and rumble. Guys, new show. You can see Pete on the screen. Look how good looking Pete looks today. He looks so good, bro. Like, how's it going, man?
Thanks, mate. I've had a shower this week.
Dude, honestly,
I'm feeling.
I'm a little bit emotional about it. Like, you really changed it around.
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
Right, Legends. We're going to do all the updates. So, this is a new show. How we're going to do it is I'm going to do like general updates for the market. So we'll do Bitcoin, crypto, commodities, and obviously the stock markets and the indice market. So we'll go through all of that kind of stuff about general market updates. And then me and Peter, the exceptionally good-looking physical male on the screen right now, we'll then go through contemporary events, the news. We'll talk about Amazon. We'll talk about the big crash of the internet today. And also, we'll answer questions as well. I think we should definitely do it at the end. So at the end of these videos, we'll just sit here and answer questions and just have a chat because we're humans and humans need to talk. But I'm very excited about Pete's looks. It's a huge turnaround, and I believe that there's big things to come. Now, we'll start with Bitcoin, guys, because obviously a lot of you guys in this channel are Bitcoin orientated, and obviously crypto is very energetic. It's the ADHD market. It's jumping around doing all this crazy shit, which actually creates a lot of talking points. When you look at SPX, it's not really, if I just bring up the chart, obviously as exciting. It just goes up and then down quickly and then up again. So we'll talk about the SPX as well. I'll give you my ideas and my thoughts on what I think is going to happen next. But you know my kind of thesis on SPX. I believe it's up until proven otherwise and only going to get some significant pullback if you have some sort of macro event on the world stage. But Bitcoin, guys, so a lot of guys got flushed out recently by this big nuke. If you don't, I'll go through the elementary level. I won't go into all, like, the deep shit. Just elementary is everyone got wiped out who were over-levered on exchanges in crypto, and altcoins went even further down. Total 2, you can see the wick on Total 2, absolutely crazy move. But guys, ultimately with Bitcoin, I do think that we're going to get a move back up to around the 786 of this move. If you don't know what 786 is, it's a Fibonacci retracement. I won't even bother drawing it on because you go from the high to the low. I think we're going to come up to around the 786 on this now, okay? Longer short ratio indicators are actually coming back down as well, guys. I actually spoke in my VIP group about what this means. When you see the actual movement between longs and shorts coming towards each other on this indicator, that could be an indication of the price rising. And when you get the crosses, that's when you really get big changes in Bitcoin. This is specifically taking Binance's order books, but you can see when you get crosses of long to short, this is actually where you get general direction changes. But you can get this on with my company MDX Algo, guys. I won't go into it too much. But guys, Bitcoin's looking good. I do think that what's likely going to happen is we're going to come up at some point between here and here. So this high price is like the local swing high. I think we're going to get some resistance and actually carve out a higher low, and then that will be the move we get to 786. Now, that's kind of short-term analysis. I won't go any further. But in medium term, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, I think Bitcoin's is going to start a bear market. You know, it's over for Bitcoin. It's bear market territory. We're now going to 25K. I've seen some crazy fucking numbers thrown about. But, guys, on the medium term, I actually do think Bitcoin is going to continue. And I think the price of Bitcoin will rise and break the all-time high within the next few months. And the reason I say that is because I have strict criteria on what I believe a bear market is on Bitcoin specifically, and that's the 200-day moving average. If you're above the 200-day moving average, that's one signal. I would actually say even if the 200-day moving average is aiming up, that's another semi-signal within one. And then breaking systemic market structure, guys. We're not even below 74K right now. We're not even below this swing low. We've just about broken this, but now we're back above it. So there's no even lowest time structure being broken on the low side. So a bear market you would like to see a lower low and a lower high. You haven't even got that. You got a higher high and haven't even broken this low. You're above it now. So there's no even like micro structure. And I would say for Bitcoin to be 100% confirmed into a bear market, you'd have to at least be below $80,000 or 74K. The first shot across the bow for me is around $100,000, and then we're still not even below that. And then, guys, you look at volume on higher time frames. I'd use this indicators as one of my indicators I built with my team. MDX Algo is fucking algorithms in the name. But we would usually see red sell pressure taking over the market, like we did here with a big red candle. When a big red sell pressure candle on the higher time frames takes over everything else by a county mile, that could be a sign that was the peak of the beginning of now everyone beginning to sell. And then volume, generally speaking, guys, tapers off and falls in bear cycles on all types of asset classes. So things going up in price actually excites people, which can actually mean that more volume is created because more people participate. When things go down, actually people get bored and that there's less trading action. So another sign which I don't put as much weight on. But another sign is the volume increasing of the market or decreasing, and that could also show you or give you a signal or a sign that the market was either in a bull market or a bear market. And actually, we're still increasing volume. Open interest is going crazy. Most shit is green. Even ETFs are getting all. Everything's still very, very high in terms of volume. So to flick back on Bitcoin, guys, I don't think we're about to start a bear market. And there's no criteria here. There's nothing that I look at which says we're in a bear market. Even the CBBI, and I'll go into that in a second. But we're not in bear market territory, guys, yet. If we lose $100,000 and we close significantly below the 200-day moving average, then I will say probably about a 25 to 35% chance that we have started a bear market. But then we have to come below it. We have to sort of carve out some sort of lower low, which would be from here or here. Then we need to get a lower high. That could be $100,000. And then we could say, okay, potentially the market is shifting. And then I reckon the last line in the sand is 80 to 74. If that is lost, then yeah, I do think the bear market has begun. But we're not here to try and time the top, sell the fucking highs. We're happy to lose 35% of the upside to then have a less risky short or sell your portfolio. We're here to play risk to reward. We're not here to play gamble on a fucking number and get the highest reward. Others are going to get wrecked. We know that from everyone else in fucking altcoins and high-levered people. So we're above the 200-day. We're above 100,000. Structure's fine. I would say it's actually likely to continue. And on the upside, guys, no one knows how far Bitcoin's going to go. It can go up and up and up and up and up for as long as you want. There's no point betting against it. I would say you'd rather let the whole market play out and then short the retest of the highs. That's what I do in my strategies. Anyway, that's Bitcoin out of the way. I won't even really dive into altcoins, but I think that, guys, there's been a bit of a shakeout, obviously, with the old Wickeroony enter. You can see here, most guys who has been building up an account on fucking altcoins for 10 years have been wiped out. So it's going to be a big reshuffle. I think quite a lot of altcoins, I think Ethereum will be fine. I actually do think Ethereum can come down a little bit lower, but I do think some altcoins, like Link, Sui, potentially even, I don't know, Crypto.com probably will survive, but I'd say coins like Sui, Link, potentially ADA, Near, these types of coins, which are like high to medium cap altcoins, with these big wicks down, it's going to be very difficult for them to see like big institutional demand into the future, because no institution is going to look at a fucking coin which went down 85% in 3 minutes and think it's a long-term viable option for investment. So difficult. But overall, guys, I do think the alt market, in terms of the high caps, the very high caps, and there will be still lots of liquidity in the lower crappy ones, and they'll be popping, and things will go up and they'll go down in the lower types. You only need a small amount of money to make things go up and down in lower cap altcoins. So there'll be opportunities there. Obviously, you can still find one altcoin which is going to beat Bitcoin. Like you can find one stock that's going to be the stock market, the index, S&P 500. But overall, guys, I do think some altcoins are going to die. But overall, altcoins will probably moonshot with Bitcoin first. So if Bitcoin continues the bull market, I do think some altcoins will go up first, and then they'll probably cease to exist later. In terms of stock market, guys, like really, this orange line is the main thing I've been looking at, and it is the Fed funds rate. This is on our indicator called TradFi Suite. It just tracks basically what's happening on the in the Federal Reserve with the interest rates. A lot of guys got really freaked out, guys, with this move here when we made a lower low. Actually, guys, the stock market is beginning to continue up, and I don't think there's any reasonable way you can bet against the stock market. Right now, guys, exactly the same concept as when Bitcoin's in a bull market. You don't bet against it. You wait until it actually breaks systemic structure and you reshort the high. That's exactly what I'll be doing on the stock market. And everything's going up because of massive quantitative easing all around the world. So everything's going to rise in price, guys. Just how much does it rise? What you really want to do is look at inflation-adjusted charts like gold. I'm going to go into gold in a second and give you a little bit more of a deep dive into it, because the stock market is just doing what the stock market does, guys. It usually goes up between 5 and 8% per year, which keeps up with inflation. There will be crashes, but it's still a decent hedge against new currency creation. It's better than a lot of other things out there, which only go up 3% or 4%. Stock market still does very well. And the general growth of the stock market isn't always to do with it growing in value. It's just because it's keeping up with inflation. And hedge funds, institutions, it's plugged into every single big fucking goddamn money management firm, institution, hedge fund, all the way through to family office. Everybody knows you put an allocation every single month, every single day, every single week into the stock market to play hedge and also play the growth of the stock market. Okay, so nothing really to talk about here, guys, and it's not very likely going to start a bear market anytime soon. Even if you get all these dudes out there saying, oh, it's doomsday, it's going to end and it's going to go down tomorrow, they're doing exactly what fucking all the idiots did in Bitcoin when it was trading at 10K. They try and short all the way up. Don't even bother. long until proven otherwise. And when it breaks something, then look to short the retest. Now, gold is way more interesting because I do think that the run for gold is probably close to being over. This is actually going to go against what a lot of people think. Oh, shit. I think someone's just left the group. Anyone in here? Are you back? Oh, you've done something. Okay. Peter Schiff. Yeah, we'll talk about Peter Schiff in a second. Look, guys, okay. This is going against what a lot of people think, which is happening right now in the bullion gold market. You've got people queuing outside of gold dealers, bullion gold dealers, to purchase more gold. This will probably go against what they think. They think it's a great time to buy gold right now. I don't agree. I think gold has very likely got very close to its top, actually, for this specific cycle. If it goes to $5,000, that wouldn't surprise me, but I think that's the cap. I don't think it goes much above $5,000. And a very simple analysis, guys. If you look at the purchasing power of gold over the last, now this is going on nearly 15 years. There's actually 14 years. This was the purchasing power of gold in 2011. We have now got back to the purchasing power of gold in 2011. And in 2011, that was the top of a very, very high bull market. So I would say, guys, because this is inflation-adjusted charts, this is gold / M2SL. So this is taking the price of gold and then you're doing it by money M2 money supply. And guys, just to quickly clarify what that is for the simple way of understanding that, you have M0, M1, M2, M3, M4. And all of these are metrics which are given out to people from the government to measure how much money, and let's just quote money as US dollars in this example, because there's obviously a debate of what really money is. I would say gold and Bitcoin is money, but let's just say they classify US dollars as money. And M1, M2, M0, actually, M0, M1, M2, M3, M4 are different ways of calculating how much money there is actually in the system, because it's not very easy to do. M0 is complete base currency. Sorry, only physical currency. So only base physical currency. We know that there's also digital money in the system. So M0 is literally just cash fucking notes physically. M1 is a combination of digital and physical, but doesn't take into account deposits at banks and credit. M2 takes into account the credit, what's deposited, and what's out there in circulating supply. And M2 is essentially the most liquid form of money, so money that can actually move. When you want to go into M3 and M4, that takes into account money that's in reverse repo, money which is stored, money which is in secure holdings, money that's been printed by governments but it's just reserves on the side, which isn't even in the economy. You don't want to use that, because what you need to do when you're trying to do inflation-adjusted charts, and nothing's absolutely perfect because we don't know exactly how much currency's been made, but you don't want to try and base the price of something relative to all of the currency that's locked up, because money that's locked up doesn't actually represent an increase or decrease of the circulating supply of US dollars. And I'm kind of going on a bit of a rant here, but what I'm trying to say is that, for instance, let me make it easy for you altcoin guys. So say you have an altcoin that has 1 billion tokens, but only 500 million of them are in circulating supply. You wouldn't calculate the market cap with the 500 that aren't circulating. So what I'm trying to say is that if you do it with M3 or M4, you're trying to calculate how much currency there is by currency that might be printed, but it's not circulating in the economy. So that would be stupid. You don't want to do that. Otherwise, you're going to get a misrepresented, blurry vision of actually what's happening. So this is M2. That was a long roundabout round there to get to. This is M2. But just to explain to you what those all mean, this is basically how much, roughly speaking, money there is in the system that is liquid. And we're at the same purchasing power right now as we did get to in 2011. And I would say that even if gold doesn't go into a significantly big bear market, I don't think we have to go into a bear market for many, many years. I just think we're going to get a significant pullback or retracement at some level. And having all these brothers in fucking New York and London going and buying it, spot bullion gold in the street and queuing up for it, it's just one of those little signals. It's like when your fucking taxi driver starts talking about the new fucking altcoin to buy, or you get into every cab. You know, when your cab driver is essentially now a fucking market wizard analysis guy, when your fucking guy who's driving you around is now telling you he's a market wizard, that's probably when you can look the other way. Let me get some water. But yeah, this is basically, guys, I think gold might be at the beginning not the beginning of the end, but it's the beginning of a move down in price. And I would say, guys, actually, if you want to go to Bitcoin inflation adjusted charts, and you can just do Bitcoin / M2SL, you're looking at a better. If you were in gold right now, moving into Bitcoin would probably be a better place. And I did a tweet about that, saying that gold is quite overextended, but Bitcoin actually, in an inflation adjusted sense, isn't. And I think there could be a quite nice trade if you're in gold right now. And I do own gold. I have a significant amount of gold actually, but paper gold. My bullion stack is very, very small in comparison to paper. But I was going to sell all my Bitcoin, guys, at the top of the bull market into gold, but I won't do that anymore because I think gold is it's done its fucking move, and it did it very, very quickly. It's not as fast as 19. Yeah, so this is actually the highest point ever of gold's purchasing power. This is going back to I think it's bang on the dot of 1980. So 1979, 1980 was this move in gold. This is, I don't think, probably ever been in recorded, let's say modern history, ever been higher. There may have been instances, though, during other empires, for instance, the Byzantine Empire. But I would say that this is not matched in our lifetimes, or maybe our parents and their parents' lifetimes. But in the price was about fucking $700, but that could have bought you a lot of shit. So look, guys, there could be a scenario where gold does do something like this. I would just say it's probably unlikely because there's a lot more roads and routes and networks and ways that people can use. People can put their purchasing power into other things more readily than 1980. In 1980, there wasn't that many options. Now there is so many options. You could have your money sitting in a PayPal account, or you could have your money sitting here, or you can move it into a cryptocurrency, or you can move it into a new digital asset, a new stock, a new share, a new fucking this, a new that. There's so many financial products now, which you can wrap your purchasing power in, essentially. So I don't think we're going to get there. But yeah, it's a really interesting, guys. And if you had bought gold a year or two ago, you beat inflation recently. But a lot of people say that gold is, if you buy gold, you're always going to beat inflation. That's not true, guys. Gold historically does not beat inflation. Gold is just a tool to stop yourself from losing money, but it doesn't usually make you money. It just keeps you where you're at. So whatever your purchasing power is, you'll just keep it the same. Because if you had bought gold in 2011, for literally 12 years, you lost a lot of money. If you had bought gold in 2011, you only just made back what you fucking put in terms of purchasing power. So it's not everyone. If someone says to you gold is there designed to beat inflation, that's not true. Gold doesn't beat inflation. Gold can't beat inflation. Gold is just a representation of what inflation is. The price going up of gold makes you realize how much new currency has been printed. It's the actual realization of how much new currency has been printed by the price of gold going up, because dollars were used to back gold. Sorry, gold used to back dollars, but that's not the case anymore. So I'm saying that gold is more of a representation of how much inflation there is. That's the real true inflation. If it's going up this amount every year, that's probably because that amount of new currency is being created every year. So it's actually probably a better way to do that. Anyway, so gold's looking crazy. I think you had a tweet up, didn't you, Pete? So what we got here? Yeah, Peter Schiff. What did he say?
They're saying that gold is the biggest threat to Bitcoin. That's why the entire crypto industry is now attacking it. Bitcoin hype worked when gold spent over a decade consolidating its prior gains. But now that gold is surging, there is no longer a reason for anyone to buy Bitcoin instead. What do you think about that?
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not attacking. A lot of guys in crypto have attacked gold, and I've never been in that camp because I believe that gold and Bitcoin are vastly different in many different ways. They fundamentally are built on the same principles of sound money, but the way that the value proposition for Bitcoin, the value proposition for gold are actually significantly different. And I believe there's a use case for gold, and I think there's a use case for Bitcoin in lots of different ways, actually. But to say that, Bitcoin, if I say that gold isn't a threat to Bitcoin, then it's not the other way around. So there is no threat. Gold is not threatening Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is not threatening gold, in my opinion. They both have different ways. You can use them in different ways. I actually think gold has benefits for the physicality of it. And also maybe that might be in the future even more anonymous, because we know that digital stamping and digital things are they're more pseudo-anonymous. But no, it's not. It's just Schiff trying to, get attention. It's just Schiff talking shit to try and get attention. Gold does
We've
not
got
threaten Bitcoin. They're completely different asset classes. And also, you got just to remember as well, gold going up in price is good for Bitcoin because it means that people are buying value. They're going back to the least risky thing you can get your hands on. But gold is not a growth story. So if gold is going up in price, all it's going to do is give people more of a reason to buy other things that are similar to gold or getting closer to gold. And that would be even fine art, wine, real estate, obviously Bitcoin and other cryptos. But gold going up in price just means that people are hedging out of risk. And I think that that's good for Bitcoin because it means that then people will look for other alternatives as well, because gold does have some problems. If the price of gold rises very, very quickly, there's a difference between the amount of derivatives of gold and the amount of spot gold. There are more derivatives of gold than there are spot. So if the price of derivative goes up, and then actually people want to sell the derivatives to get bullion spot, there is a difference in the amount of supply. So the spot gold price can go a lot higher and you can get a lot more premiums. And sometimes in history, it can go up to 10, 15, 20% just to get the spot version. With Bitcoin, the derivative and the spot are very easily interchangeable, extremely easily interchangeable. And it's very difficult to have more. You cannot have more derivatives than more spot. And if they did, there'd be a lot of arbitrage play there. So I'm saying that with gold, actually, as the price rises and it gets more people FOMO into it, it means the premium goes up and it gets very difficult to get your hands on. So you have to pay all these crazy fees on top of that. So what that will do is, if people want to buy gold and they can't physically even do it, get the physical spot bullion because it's too expensive or the premium's too high or they can't find it in their local shop, they'll look for alternatives. And guess what? Gold and Bitcoin are built on the same fundamental premises of sound money, which then means that people will probably end up buying Bitcoin as well. And Bitcoin, it has lots of other use cases and it's lots of benefits because it's more portable, more durable, more divisible, more fungible, has probably a better store of value because store of value is determined by the supply and as a fixed supply, not a scarce supply. So, you know, if you want to live in that world, the digital world, you go for Bitcoin. But if you don't, and I get why governments buy gold, then you can buy gold. But they have their own specific niche. Anyway, what were you going to say a second ago, brother?
I was just saying, we've got some comments in the chat as well. Some people were saying gold widely used for electronic appliances, gold miners, GDX only 60% up off its all-time low. Schiff's been crying for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, look at this tweet as well from Schiff.
The thing is as well about this whole debate, about gold being used in industry, the stock to flow of gold is still ridiculous, guys. Most of it goes into whatever's the difference between the supply going into a monetary asset, which is stored, is still insane. The value proposition of gold is literally less than 1% in relation to its industry value. And you see that in all the other heavy metals. All the other heavy metals, guys, go and find the market cap of gold. I mean, you can do it very easily. I'll get it up for you now. So you get the market cap of gold, which is literally $30 trillion. Okay, go and find, obviously we know silver. Even silver, which is significantly used as money as well, is 2 trillion. So you're looking at like 10 fucking X for gold just to go to silver. Now go find palladium and platinum and fucking all these other things. Look, it's ridiculous. You have to remember that platinum and palladium, here's palladium, all right? This is significantly used in industry. So palladium is used much more in industry than it is for money. It's got a $400 billion market cap, guys. It's 100x almost smaller than gold. So for you to say that, oh, the reason gold has a high market cap is because of its use in industry, it's a load of bollocks. Probably about $29 trillion of its value is just because it's used as money. It's probably less. It's probably even less. It's probably less than 1 trillion used for industry. It's probably like $500 billion worth. I guarantee you, if you run around this fucking planet, palladium, platinum, nickel, all these things, you're going to find them in your goods and your service and your product more than gold. It's simply not happening, guys. It's most of gold's value proposition and why it's good at money. It's not because of its physical form. It's because of the properties that it has. And it's portable, durable, divisible, fungible, has a great store of value because you can't destroy it. You can leave it in a safe for 1 billion years. You can leave it in a safe for the whole of the world, and you can't create it easily. which makes it great because difficulty creates scarcity, and the difficulty of gold is that you can't produce more of it. The only way you can make gold, guys, in this universe is by blowing up a star in a supernova explosion. That's the only way you can create gold. So think about the hard limiting difficulty factor of that. That's why it's so good at money, because no human being can do it. So it's impossible to create it.
Elon Musk is going to go out and start mining meteors and stuff and bringing us back the gold.
Yeah, the thing is, if he does do that, if he had the money to do it, if you went to a meteorite and you mined gold, the thing is about the supply and demand. The thing about the supply and demand dynamic of that scenario is that it would be unbelievably expensive and unprofitable, because as soon as you did it, everyone on Earth would go to market and sell their gold. So they'd if you were going to inflate the supply of gold by double, let's just say there's 150,000 tons of gold on the planet. If Elon Musk went and said, I'm going to go and mine another 150,000 tons, what would happen is that as he flew it back from space, everyone would sell their gold, and then the market price would tank. So he would then, if he wanted to if he wanted to flush or flood the supply of gold onto the market, it means that the gold he was then selling would be essentially worth less, not worthless, but worth less than he tried to. So it would just mean that economically, we know in business, if you don't make money, you can't continue. So I'm just saying, if Elon Musk wanted to waste $1 trillion to do it, he could probably reduce the price of gold. But the thing is, there's no economic sense, and the laws of money and nature will always prevail. Like you can't go into a business venture. That's why, actually, probably, bro. We had this conversation the other day, Pete. We're like, why aren't there more people on the fucking moon? Like, why aren't there people on the moon? It's because it's really difficult.
We never went back.
We never went back because it's very difficult if you're not a government. Because remember, the government did it. So because government can just keep going into more and more ridiculous ideas of debt because it's just paid by the public. So the problem is about going to the moon is that it's very difficult to get a board of directors and a board of investors to say, we're going to go to the moon, but we got no idea how we're going to make you any money. It's just, you just got to put $1 trillion. Okay, we're looking, $1 trillion, but we ain't got no idea of how we're going to get a return. We don't even know what's up there. We could die. We could just... So there's no economic sense. So I'm just saying, if Elon Musk did do that and he mined an asteroid for gold, he would either have to take a significant burden of his own financial... He'd have to lose $1 trillion or more for him to do it. And in that, would he just lose $1 trillion to inflate the supply of gold? We'll see. But I'm not backing this guy up. Like, the thing is about me, guys, I'm just being completely objective. Like, a lot of other people in this crypto world, they say, oh yeah, he's going to do it. They're going to mine gold on asteroid. It's going to ruin gold, so buy Bitcoin. I'm not fucking talking that shit. I couldn't give a fuck. I want to talk about the real reality of it. I'm not against gold. I'm not for gold. Oh, mate, are we really whipping this one up?
Oh,
yeah. We're rigging this up.
Peter Schiff clip. When was this?
You got
a long time ago. I've got the
Peter Schiff smokes a bong.
I need to make sure I'm sharing the audio.
No, I don't have to share the audio. I can hear you right now. If you press play, it's up.
No, can you hear this?
Yo,
yeah.
Bitcoin, 21 million better than the bullion. Peter Schiff got it wrong. He's gonna smoke a bong. He's a dumb head dong. Let it drop again. Let's go.
Yeah, this was good.
I want to hear the 2G.
I got my dong. What? Got
Oh,
my
my
dong
wrist
with
button.
Lisbon.
I think it's at the beginning. Mate, we need that track back.
Yeah, I got a new girlfriend. It's called Pete.
No. Turn that shit off.
All right, legends. We'll get onto that.
All right. Let's get back to
your beautiful face, man. Anyway, gold is, yeah. So I look, this whole fucking debate about, it's just been years and years and years of this very, very small-minded tribalism. And you just have to get out of that shit. If you're going to make any money in this world, just get out of your little tribe. It's just so fucking ridiculous that everyone's like, yeah, Bitcoin only this. It's actually good, guys. Like, having gold and Bitcoin on the planet, if you go to like a philosophical point, okay, about like what money is and what we believe that money is and how money should be distributed on the planet, gold is great for the world. Because if everyone used gold as money, we'd have a much more fair society. And that's what we all believe in Bitcoin. We believe that Bitcoin is fair, equal money for the people, and governments don't own it, and it's distributed, and it's a free ledger, and it's open, and you can plug and play. It's like the internet for money. So, like, if you want to be true to... Okay, obviously we're in this game to make money, but I'm saying there is a level where we're like, it's actually a better system for the world. So If you believe that Bitcoin's a better system for the world, that means that gold is still a better system for the world. It might not be a technology, but it is a technology technically. We made it into something, but I'm saying it's a technology of money. So if you believe that Bitcoin is good, then stop being a fucking little twat. Gold is good as well. Like having the option for... And also, guys, imagine if Bitcoin did have a problem in the future. It relies on computers. Gold doesn't rely on computers. It relies on the forces of nature. It relies on whoever created the universe. So think about it this way. If you are someone who believes in sound money and sound money principles, and there was a problem with Bitcoin and there was no gold on this planet, then you wouldn't even be able to get any gold. And then it would be even more of a difficult situation. Got to remember, like, our ancestors managed to build massive, great, successful civilizations on the back of gold and silver. And that's why pirates used to fucking go for thousands of miles and dig up land and put it in the ground to keep it safe because it was valuable. So I'm getting blasted on my phone. But yeah, no, it's having Bitcoin and gold in the world is good. Both of them have differences, and I believe right now that Bitcoin isn't better in any way than gold. It's very different, but I would say that Bitcoin's better to be in because it is growing, and there's an opportunity when things grow for you to make financial gain. With gold, it's not growing, guys. Gold's not growing. You're looking at the price, and you're like, yeah, oh my God, like the price is going up. It must be growing. It's not growing. Look at this chart. The purchasing power is not gone up or down. Actually, it's only gone back to what it was in 2011. And that's what you see for thousands of years of history, the ebb and flow between gold and real estate, predominantly gold and real estate flips. Purchasing power of real estate goes up, everyone goes to gold. And then as the purchasing power of gold falls, people then sell their real estate into gold. So it's still a good form of money. And it's not growing. It's just going up in price because there's more dollars. It's still the same roughly amount of it. It has an inflation rate of about 3%. Anyway, that's the gold debate. Anything else about gold? Here we go. The AWS outage. Yeah, let me quickly do one last market, which I'm interested in. I do think, guys, I already have a significant investment in Nike, but I do think, guys, that this is quite likely going to be the bottom. It's a completely naked chart. I'm not going to dive into the technicals. I'm just saying that I do think Nike...
You love Nike?
I really like Nike, bro. And this is not because I like the clothes company. I do like the clothes company. As a coincidence, it's a good clothes company. But fair value is like $90, guys. Can't remember the exact brewer. I think it was Reuters. I can't remember exactly. But there's been like 3 or 4 different studies. If you take the stock and you take the dividend it yields of 3%, and then you do a certain equation, and also if you look at the PE ratio, you're looking like $90 fair value. And also, guys, if you're buying something which has this amount of money being distributed back to the investors in terms of dividends, there's no real... I don't think you can lose this trade, because you're going to get at least $3,000 or $4,000 on your 100K investment every single year anyway. So even if it drops... Yeah, Nike's really, really good. I think fair value is about $90. So I'm in Nike as well as a trade for Nike. No technicals, guys. Fundamentals. Look at the fucking drawdown, guys. It's come back to levels... Yes, if it can get... If you see Nike do this, Legends, and come out and break through this area, this is going to be back in, maybe one more chance, and there's just going to be another one of these. That'll be it. So what we're talking about on the other side, brother? Let's chat about some stuff that isn't crypto. So the AWS outage might be able to take out a part of Bitcoin, of the Bitcoin network, but it will never be able to render it
Pokemon was down. Pokemon
inoperable, like many companies experienced. So Snapchat's gone. So all these companies got wiped out by the internet outage.
I think, to be honest, everything's kind of back up and running today. But everyone wakes up Monday morning, they're ready to hit work, ready to crack on, ready to get into Pokemon, all that stuff. And
Pokemon,
it all just got taken out. But I actually don't know why. There's just some server issues at
we need D-Web, man.
It's mad how many different companies and services and SaaS products are all just got taken out at the same time. It's been a while.
It happened to Dubai, mate. It happened to Dubai with an oil fucking tanker or whatever it was, a massive ship, put its anchor down and cut a line from the west. Well, actually, it would be Europe, which, west to east, essentially, but it's Middle East to, like, the obviously Eastern Europe, so it's like kind of a weird one. But yeah, there was a cut of that line. I think it was in the Black Sea or the Red Sea. Don't quote me, but it's one of the two. And it like fucked up a whole route going into Europe. So we had to like all the internet had to go back around through the US side, I think, and also the Asian side. So I was going into like fucking remember those lobbies we were getting in Asia. It's like what? So yeah, man, it's also centralized. It is a little bit of a house of cards. We do still need to as a fucking humanity still needs to try and integrate and build more networks which are more decentralized to keep these things running, because AWS is a massive centralized hub. That's a lot of companies which probably rely on that shit. There was probably a bad day on the revenue numbers for a lot of these companies. Shopify.
It was the Red Sea, by the way, that apparently was
the Red Sea. Cuts. Yeah. So they say a ship, its anchor wiped out the line, cut it. It's just mental to think that there's just a line which is probably that thick, like that, and it's just got all of the data from like 2 massive continents. You're like it's just like what? You think it just comes out the sky, but it doesn't. It comes down a fucking cable, and I think the cables are a little bit thicker than that. I don't know. Maybe we should get a ChatGPT up, how thick the cable was. Try and get like how many centimeters wide it was.
I reckon they're pretty thick. There was another one that got bombed as well, wasn't there? Or sabotaged. They went down there in some sort of like submersible. No, that was the oil line. Do you remember that one where they like an oil line just got blown up under the sea?
Say that again. An oil.
Yeah, there was some oil distribution line that got blown up under the sea a while ago, and they were saying it was Ukraine that had done it. That was
the North something pipeline, wasn't it? I can't remember exactly what they called it.
Oh, do you know what is interesting? Talking about gold, precious metals, precious stones, prices and stuff. Guess what happened today? I don't even think you know about this.
I got no idea. What is it to do with the precious metals market?
There's a massive heist at the Louvre in France, and they stole like some crown, like all sorts of like, jewelry. Yeah, so they turned up in a truck, and let me actually get some.
Mate, get something up. That sounds like Johnny English when they nick the crown jewels.
It's Ocean's 11, mate. It's absolutely nuts how they do. They pulled up on some truck with a ladder, and then heist Louvre. And yeah, and then they got a lift on the truck's ladder up to like the 2nd floor and just smashed their way through the here you go. They smashed their way through the
everything we know about the Louvre jewelry heist. That's fucking this is something out of GTA 6.
Huge embarrassment. This was a very quick
Make it full screen.
There you go. Is that good enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, that's the van and the ladder that they climbed up. So they're probably melting the gold already or transporting it. Or
they smashed their way through a window, got into the 1st floor to a gallery there. They could have wandered down the corridors and found the Mona Lisa. Instead, they stayed in the room which is basically dedicated to what's left of France's royal
they've still closed it and everything while they're investigating.
Mate, they could have nabbed a Mona Lisa as well.
But what's mad is they stole a tiara of like Napoleon's wife or something. It's a mad crown, and then they found that crown outside broken and in the gutter somewhere where they were just rushing, I guess, to get away. The Nord Stream, yeah, that was it.
Although there were tourists, visitors inside the museum.
That's crazy how they haven't been caught yet.
No one was hurt, no one was injured, they weren't even carrying guns or anything.
A couple teenagers.
They told, no, this is some people saying they reckon it's for some sort of like private buyer abroad that just wants some of that collection. Or
isn't it a little bit tricky though to you've stolen Napoleon's wife's jewelry? Like it's not like you can go wear it in the fucking local mall, is it? It's a bit like
really difficult. It's got to be private buyers.
Mate, that's something literally out of like GTA 5 when you do a heist.
Yeah. Look, this lorry. They just jumped in this lorry and climbed the ladders up there and smashed through.
That's mental. How did they get back down? Back down the ladder?
I don't know.
That is literally something. Mate, you must know the ins and outs. I want some more information, bro.
That's all. No one knows much more than this. They just turned up and they got away on some motorcycles or scooters or whatever, and then you would have thought they'd have been caught by now, or or
You'd
something.
think they'd
but
have like just some fucking armed
this has got
guards.
to be one of the hardest places to steal stuff in the world, isn't it?
Well, obviously not. Like they got whooped. They got whooped by a couple brothers. Like they went up a ladder and went through the window, mate.
Yeah, it actually sounds so simple, didn't it? Right, lads. So
Look, boys, put the ladder down. I'll go up it, smash the window, throw it out, and jump down. They probably slid down. You know, those little you slide down quickly.
And that they were wearing like high vis jackets and builder kind of outfits, and people were walking around the museum and stuff, and they didn't even realize the robbery was taken, but they were kind of like smashing into the things, but not in like, you know, classic with a sledgehammer, like we see in London all the time, you know, and they ram shop fronts of jewelers and then they just grab it all and stuff. This was a bit more.
Yeah. Were they wearing balaclavas? Do you know any more information about it?
I don't know actually. About
You need to dive. I'm actually super interested. They should make a film about this.
I know
shit.
this is sick. Look how it's going to play out. I don't know.
The Mona Lisa. So
it might be a day or 2 days before they.
I need to get my art, my artistic idea. But Mona Lisa is the one of, you know, the very famous fucking painting of the lady, isn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine them throwing that out the window. The Mona Lisa.
Yeah, I can't. Can you imagine, like, you know, planning that and then this morning waking up and putting on your boots and being like, right, today's the day. We better get up that ladder. And
to me, it kind of sounds like an opportunistic thing where they just like maybe it wasn't even that. I don't know. Obviously, they probably planned it, but it seems a bit like quick ladder up the side. Sounds like the kind of thing I do.
Maybe they've melted the gold down stuff, but I don't think so. I can't imagine it being like that much.
The thing is, if you melt, if you fucking melt the gold out of it,
found in the street.
The thing is, the actual base metal of that isn't going to be that much. Like, it's going to be, I don't know how many ounces that is, but I wouldn't say it was more than 1 kilogram. So probably about $60,000 of actual metal. But mate, it's worth a lot more being the crown. So I don't think they'll melt it. They'll probably sell it some.
This is some of the things that were stolen: a tiara and a brooch belonging to the wife of Napoleon, an emerald necklace from some empress, Marie Louise. I actually don't know who any of these people are, like the famous people in history. Just loads of really like priceless jewelry from kings and queens and stuff.
I don't think they'll melt it down. It'll end up in the hands of some super, super crazy collector who's a billionaire. I don't know. It will just be there. And the thing is, it's quite difficult, though. To like, you're never going to be able to show it to anyone. It's actually kind of a shit thing to steal.
Some sort of like Saudi Arabian legend that's just got it for his collections and stuff, or some sort of Russian.
I know, but like even at that, it just becomes like, if you have the one of something, anyone could just rattle you out. It just seems a bit like, I don't think it's even that good a thing to steal. It's so unfungible. It's the one of one.
No, this was the last theft in 1911. That was the last one when the museum employee he took the Mona Lisa under his coat. He lifted it off the wall and put it under his coat and walked out.
But he got caught.
Yeah, he got caught and it got back. But...
He tried to whop it under his shirt. I think it's quite a big painting, brother. You can't really.
Yeah, he did. He put the Mona Lisa under his shirt and just walked out. Anyway, yeah, that's.
It's actually kind of retarded because like I don't see how, it must be so difficult to be able to actually get rid of it because anyone could rattle you out. You could get done by this. Like, how are you going to get that across customs? Like, what the fuck? Like.
Yeah, and there's like hundreds of diamonds in some of those jewelry.
Yeah,
pieces,
if they dismantle it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they do a lot of time. They will just take the jewelry apart and then sell it.
But the thing is, as the necklace, it's probably worth tens of millions. But as the jewelry, it's probably worth hundreds of thousands. But it's still hundreds of thousands, isn't it? So.
Someone's saying maybe some window washers have just been fantasizing about this for years, and they finally done it.
They finally got the balls to just
they were cleaning the windows, looking through, thinking, I'll tell you what, we could actually just get through there.
They'd look at it. I'll tell you what, boys, one day. I'm going to have it.
I saw a cool video of someone actually. Do you remember we did, in one of your videos recently, we did a bit of a tour of Bristol and we went over the bridge that's famous in Bristol. There's a video the other day, I can't remember where it is, but some guy base jumping off of it, but I can imagine.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. And the guy was like, don't jump, man. Don't jump. And he said some hilarious like comment in Scottish or something. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna come down, laddie, at the end of the day, and just
It's not a
jumps
bad
off.
getaway option, is it? When you've stole something, to be able to just base jump off the top and get away quickly.
Listen, laddie, I'm gonna come down when I jump off, you fucking bastard. He was Scottish.
Oh, this is quite cool as well. We're getting the UK, because we're having more and more drones that are going all over the place. They're shutting down airports. We had some issues with airports in Europe recently where drones had been flying nearby, but we're now getting some powers to just shoot
British
them down
troops get
if they go in areas where we don't want them to be.
So they get the power to shoot down drones. Yeah, that's fair, isn't it? Like at the end of the day, I'm not against that.
There's a lot more and more of them that have been going.
Thing is,
around,
it's gonna be I just think, genuinely speaking, like drones are probably gonna have to be regulated in the same way as like planes are. Like you can't just jump in your little private plane and fly over an airbase. You're gonna fucking cause some red lights are gonna start flashing. So like,
well, you have to get
if you got a
permission from the local air control towers and stuff, I think, to be able to fly your drones, or if it's near an airport or whatever. But a lot of the time, you just don't know who's doing it.
Drones are just the next big thing. Oh, PT, someone's shouting in the chat, mate. Drones are just the next big problem. Like I can just see there being assassinations of drones, military stuff with drones.
Yeah, when is there going to be the first assassination?
Well, I think it's happening on a daily basis in fucking Ukraine. But like, I would say that a public figure, in terms of like, maybe like a national person or a government official or something, they're just going to get a drone flown at their head and blown up with it, and it's going to kill them. It's going to happen. Like, there's no way. It's fucking dark, but there's no way it's not going to happen. It's the easiest way to have no representation of yourself in any regard, and then you just fly a drone at them, and like you get the kill, but you don't even have to do it yourself. You just got an Xbox controller.
Yeah, it is nuts. Someone's saying, going back to that the robbery at the Louvre, collectors don't actually care about showing their collections. That's a good point, because what actually compels people to collect things in the first place? Like you collect a few different things, don't you?
Yeah. No, I do think if you collect cars, like you want to have, like, the best thing to do is to like have someone come to your car collection and have a look at the cars. Like I think that's actually like the ultimate thing you want in some regards, but it really depends on the person, because then you get people who go on that show called Pawn Shop and they've got like a fucking massive Star Wars collection, but they'd never even let anyone go and look at it. It just really depends on the individual, I think. But I think there is a nature of collect. I do get it though. Collecting feels like you are accumulating assets which have some sort of like sentimental value, and it always comes down to usually like your childhood or an event in your life. Like I've collected loads of fucking weird little things like Pokemon cards. Like I've got a fucking Trading View watch. Like that's a collector's item, but it's to do with the synergy between potentially it will never lose value, but you can also enjoy it because it means something to you. But it is a weird little animal thing for sure. It's definitely a human being thing. But I would say that I think most people, when they collect something which is very, very sought after, I think actually what they really want to do is have the time where they can have other people who want it, but they want to show them it when they own it, because it's just a kind of like makes you feel good, and also you get to make their day. Imagine if someone had never seen a poster of Michael Jackson. Imagine the biggest Michael Jackson fan or some shit, and they would like never seen a poster which was signed by him, and you could be like, yeah, I've got one in my house, come and have a look. I think it's actually quite a nice thing. But I've got a few bits. Yeah, go on. I don't have a fucking bit.
A lot of the time there are these collections that never see the light of day as well.
Well, I do
just
think
lock them away.
I do think that's not working.
I think it's more like some psychology of the fact that they know that they own it and they've got it hidden away.
Oh, mate, well, another massive part of it, for me, is if you buy something that you know someone famous owned, like there was a box which someone showed me in, I think it was a Saint-Tropez, I don't know, and there was this big humidor, and it was like owned by like Winston Churchill or something, and I was like, oh, I'd fucking love that. You just got the same one he had, and he like fucking had his cigars in it. No, I get it.
Charizard is well sought after like a Lambo. What's the rarest one you've got?
No, I haven't got any charis, but I've got I got no charis, bro. But I'm a completely amateur, like collector with
Yeah,
Pokemon.
I've seen videos of dudes that go into the shops or whatever, and they buy the whole shelf and like take them all, put it all into their
Get up the
shopping
most
mall.
expensive Pokemon card on the world on your Google right now.
No, what is it?
No, I'm just saying, like, just Google it. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you would. I was like, you're like, nah.
I thought you had that off the top of your head.
No, I'm just saying, Google it. Just like, what is it? What is the most expensive Pokemon card? It's probably like one of the trainer cards. I think Logan Paul bought it actually. I think that was what he did.
1998 Pokemon Japanese.
Yeah, show it on the
Holo
screen, brother. Are you on
Skull.
ChatGPT? Get chat
I'm
up.
just reading whether this is the right one or not. It looks like a Blastoise, to be honest. There you go.
That was
actually
the. Oh, that's the 30
expensive
most.
one?
I don't think that is it. It will be a 10, and it will be either one of the trainer cards or it will be a
Apparently
Chari.
it's like 5.5 mil though as well.
Fuck
Let's have a
me.
look at this actual article.
Also, no, another thing about collecting.
Oh,
Oh
it
yeah.
looks like you.
Come on, bro. Another thing about collecting is what I do understand is that I do genuinely believe that people always think about the investment in most things. Like, if you buy something which you know is going to be worthless the next day, it feels like it costs you something. But if you buy something which you know it's probably going to retain its value forever, like a nice watch, a lot of people think about that. And I think, especially with watches, actually, anything sought after is usually difficult to acquire, and anything that's difficult to acquire is scarce, which derives value. So it's the same as like doing something difficult. If you climbed Mount Everest, people go, wow, that's amazing, because it's so hard to do. No one can do it. So you get respect for doing it. It's kind of the same thing with collectibles. But also, like if I bought like a P1 McLaren, like it would just make your day to be able to like take someone who's like absolutely obsessed with that car but could never do it and like show them it or drive them around in it. That would be such a sick feeling. I feel like a lot of people do that with cars. They'll like buy it, they'll take it to shows, they'll let people sit in it, and it's just like a big jerk circle basically. You've got up Get Weekly Insights. Are you doing some advertising, brother? Oh, here we go.
Mate, it's all crashing on me. But it's like 5.5 million. It goes down after that. I can't actually find the actual Pokemon card itself, though, like a picture of it. No one's actually.
Yeah, probably like a.
Seem to be...
I don't think it is a Chari. I think it's a fucking. I think it's
one below
of...
that's Charizard.
No, what I really want to buy, and I spoke to you about this the other day, was I want to buy like an actual samurai sword made by a samurai. That would be sick. And if I really wanted to, I could cut my toenails with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, brother.
Come on, mate. You can't just throw me under the bus in front of everyone, you know. You got to give me some respect out here, brother.
Well, apparently Amazon's stock wasn't even hit or anything by what's happened today, even though so people have been affected by it. I thought it would have dented it would have made it go down a little bit.
Well, AWS is like what is owned by Amazon, but they've got like they own everything. Like they got fucking the actual Amazon, then they got AWS, and they got this, they got that. It's like such a big company.
Someone's got a Beanie Baby worth $10,000, but they can't find a buyer.
Well, that means it's not
one with error. Beanie
also, with
Babies,
this,
that's old school, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's all about liquidity as well. That's why the coin. There was a coin which is an eagle. I can't remember the exact name. I think it's called like a royal eagle or something, and it's a golden coin, which is in America. And it was it's the only last golden coin there is because the Federal Reserve recalled them all, and you would go to like jail the rest of your life if you had one. But it managed to get out of circulation. There's one left. This gold fucking coin. I think it went for like 15 mil. But the problem is, anything like that, if you've got the one of one, it's extremely difficult to price it. It literally comes down to what someone is prepared to pay for it. And, you know, if someone wants to pay, it's difficult to look back at them on the chart and have a look at the market price. There isn't one. There is literally one person who's going to pay whatever they're going to pay. Fit in crypto.
Did you know?
Yeah, go on.
Go on, mate.
Your turn, mate. I've been talking.
I was just going to say, right? We've just had Prince Andrew kicked out of the Royals, haven't we? And
what does that mean, though? What does it mean, kicked out of the Royals? Like, well, he's not actually now.
People saying it means nothing. It means nothing. He's been kicked out because of the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, but he's still living in like some massive royal household for basically, at least from the king still. He's still enjoying a lot of royal privileges and that. But yeah, I don't know. How can you like kick someone out of the family? He's still the prince, isn't he? But...
Also, another weird thing is about the whole fucking debate, and this is probably going to be, most people won't agree. It's like, is he actually being charged with anything criminally? Is he criminally a pedophile? Is he criminally like a racist or a rapist or whatever? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is he a criminal, or has he just done some booky shit? Because
well,
like, I swear,
the main accuser, Virginia Giuffre, she killed herself or like committed suicide not long ago.
I don't keep up with the royal stuff.
Yeah, her biography or whatever, her tell-all expose is coming out this week, so it's going to be even more headlines and stuff for those guys. But I don't know. What do you even think about the monarchy itself? Do you think the monarchy is a good thing or a bad thing?
Just honestly, like, I like history, and I look back at like the United Kingdom and England and all the royal stuff and the war with the parliamentarians against like the nationalists and all that kind of shit. And I just look at it as low, like, just really cool old school heritage of like tradition. And I think like, I don't know, I don't think it's negative for the United Kingdom. I think actually one of the reasons that most people go to London is to get a feel for like what it used to be like, because it is one of the oldest monarchies ever. Well, it is. I think there are a few, like, obviously there's the Saudi Arabian monarchies and there's the monarchy, even the French, they have their own, and all the other ones. But like, I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think they are just people and they fucking make mistakes. Look at Andrew. He's made a lot of mistakes, bro.
Yeah,
like, what are you doing, bro?
What BBL doctor in the chat it's a nice name, by the way, as well. The BBL doctor. He's saying she was hit by a car. But obviously to be ruled a suicide, she must have jumped. Or like they decided she jumped in front of it or something like that. But
you see all these people who are trying to abolish the monarchy as well. Like, this whole thing, I think, is I
don't get the real strong like desire to go and spend your weekend demonstrating to abolish the monarchy. I don't get that. Like, where's the incentive for these people that are really trying to push to get rid of the monarchy?
I think it's because they feel like it's unfair. So they get all this and then they... But the thing is, I don't know the numbers. I'm not a fucking expert, but I would bet, just out of complete gut feeling, that the monarchy is a net positive for the United Kingdom. Like, you probably get tourism.
Like tourism and just...
Yeah. Tourism, all of the shit we sell on the basis of it. Like, all the companies, which are like, they use the name of the royal in it. Like royal rentals or whatever. Like, there's so much, like, which is built into the nature of English, like, who we are as people. And I know it's a bit gay, but like, I would say that most countries have that. Like, if you go to Bali, they celebrate it all the time, and people go there all the time to look at their weird culture, and they have like the whole thing going on, all these big fucking temples, and they make sure the temples are kept up nice. Like, no, I don't mind the monarchy. I think it's fine. I think the whole thing which Trump went to the other day, the big dinner.
Yeah, we were watching a bit
that
of
was
the
sick.
whole banquet they put on for him and like all of the show and stuff. I think that's quite. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's good. I think the whole thing's good, and I think the more you try and detach yourself away from like your national history, is kind of the more weird everything gets. Like, you need to have something which roots you in what you are. Even though I wouldn't even start to think I have any kind of like connection to any of this royal stuff anyway. Like, most people in England are just normal people. And also, you gotta remember that the royal family is like one fucking family with maybe 200, 300 people connected in some way. Like, we're talking about no one's even like really a part of it. It's just more like a big fucking... It's like a big tourism thing for people to like say, oh, that's cool.
They're trying to turn your kids gay. Something else I want to talk
Wait, did someone say that?
Someone said they're trying to turn your kids gay.
Honestly, I don't see any evidence of any royal family even being gay. Is there any royal which is gay?
Oh, there's definitely, there's definitely been all of that.
What do you mean there's definitely been all of that?
Well, there's definitely been gay royals, isn't there? There's definitely been like some of that going on.
Just a bit on the other side. Wappity wappity whip.
That's been happening.
What about
But
Tony? I got
what-
Tony Robinson on the screen. UK's Tony Robinson questions Nigel Farage's credibility. I thought they were boys. I thought they were friends.
You're always calling him Tony, and they're two completely different people.
Did I say
But yeah,
Tony again?
he doesn't like Nigel Farage, and he's
They
been
need to
trying
get
push-
on. They need to get on fucking level playing field because they might have a little bit of a different way of going about what they want, but they're quite similar.
Yeah.
It's about nationalism.
Yeah.
It's about bringing back because there was the whole when we were at school. I don't know what school you went to. Well, you went to Essex, where I went, and all that shit. I went a bit private at one point, but I'm saying like there was a whole push at school about globalization. That was like the big thing in geography. Globalization. Everyone's going to be mixing in. They even showed us a study once of what humans will look like. Let's see, my phone's ringing. There was even a little thing. I remember they sent us something which was like what humans will look like in 100 years. And it was like everyone was the same color, just like this medium brown color. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, globalization was pushed so hard on kids. And I just think that this is kind of a, well, what happens if we don't want to globalize? What happens if we want national things? The nationalists versus the globalists. I don't agree with it. I don't even think Europe should be a thing, really. Like, it was good to the United Europe. So, like, if you take all the European countries and you have the EU and it's all one thing, like, the thing is with that, it worked after the wars, first and second, to, like, unify everybody. But I just don't think you can really have those types of cultures all get agreeing and all this kind of shit. And then you have the bureaucracy of, like, the actual EU, whereas, like, people get into power which don't actually get voted by other people. So I think England leaving the EU was probably at the time we didn't want it, but now in the next 15, 20 years, we'll probably think, fucking hell, that's probably quite a good option. Like, look at Europe anyway. It's not doing well.
Here we go. We've got another tweet from Schiff.
Really, right now.
Yeah,
Scroll
the
down. We
reason
can't see
gold-
it. Scroll down.
You can't see this.
I can see the reason. Oh, here we go. The reason gold and equities are rising at the same is for both markets are being driven by inflation. Well, we just said that. But inflation-driven gains are illusion. Yeah, that's great. The thing is about Schiff as well. He says a lot of truth. That's why the price of gold is rising faster than stock prices. Real stocks are declining as normal prices rise. But he doesn't take into account that gold's only been beating inflation for the last year and a half. It didn't beat inflation since 2011. And the only reason he always is so gung-ho about all this kind of stuff is because he's been underwater. Like, all of these gold bugs have been underwater for fucking years. Since 2011, predominantly, they've been underwater. Gold's been going down, and inflation's been ramping up. In 2008, we printed more money, or currency, in circulating supply than we ever did in 90 days. So we printed the same amount of currency in 90 days than the previous 90 years. And then gold didn't even move. So they're all underwater in terms of purchasing power. Being at 5K is just back to square one. And like I said, gold doesn't beat inflation. And he's actually saying that himself. But he's trying to make it that gold is now beating and it always beats it. It doesn't always beat it. It just beats it. It doesn't actually ever beat it. It just catches up to what it is. And then it will get to what it is and then it will go down again. Because people will then say, fuck it, I'm going to move my gold into something else.
Do you think a lot of people are trying to say that we're in the bubble for AI stuff? And
The AI bubble.
I've been seeing a lot of like normie posts and stuff, especially on LinkedIn, talking about just how like AI they basically invested a lot of stuff into building servers and the computing power to keep up with the demand, but is the return actually coming back, and the quality of what the AI products are actually giving out not as good as they've been demoed to be? But I don't really see that. But I can understand why meeting demand might not necessarily be returning how much money they're investing into it.
I think AI is going to be the single greatest thing for GDP growth ever in history. Because this is like another thing which is a little bit controversial, but like, why was England and the United Kingdom's GDP so good during the slave trade? I know that sounds like, okay, why? I know it's a bit controversial, but the reason was because you had an unlimited labor force for zero cost. So what I think AI is the new unlimited labor force at essentially zero cost. So what all that's going to do is it going to mean that, yeah, companies don't need to employ as many people. That means, yes, there are less jobs, but then the person who loses their job can just create a company very similar to the company that's already there. So everyone can have the capacity to build companies much faster at a cheaper rate, which then I think increases competition. And competition, we know from the free market dynamic, will cause productivity to go up, prices to fall, and the quality of the service to get better. So like you look at like for instance like just design in general. Like there's no question in my mind that when you go to a designer and a coder, because they're kind of the same thing now, aren't they? Because what you're seeing now is that developers are now becoming the designer, as well as, because they can take all the design aspects and they can use AI to create really nice looking things and then code it themselves. So it's almost like the quality of all design is going up. It's faster, and also you're getting the product quicker. I don't think AI is bad. I think a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, but how many people lost their jobs from working in fucking sawmills or cutting down trees or fucking wheat mills or like, you know, working in a factory? Now, the thing is, machines do all the factory work now. So I think it's just going to be an explosion of the ability to do what you want to do through creative tasks. Because there's always going to be a market for human beings exchanging creative ideas with each other. So I don't know, there's also going to be a lot of like business models and a lot of like ways to make revenue that we can't even really think of right now. Like, for instance, like I would say something like virtual real estate would be one. Like there's probably going to be a whole market there. Like think about like YouTube even. Like the internet made it so you can stream on the internet and make money. Like I remember when the YouTube started monetizing, and even when I first saw that when I was probably like, I don't know, 15 or something, or 14, I remember thinking like, what? It was like a kind of an abstract concept. Like you can make money by doing a video. And now everyone knows that. It's like, that's like the main way people make money now. So there's going to be something like that, which is going to come along. Like, oh, I can make money through this. I don't know, mate. I think AI is good, but
yeah, it seems like the whole narrative around the AI bubble, etc., like bursting or something, it's only really happening in the last couple of weeks, or maybe in the last 4 weeks, a month, that this has really started ramping up. You've seen articles and everyone doing pieces on it, but
I don't understand what this means, though. Why this analyst says the AI bubble is 17 times bigger than the .com bust. It just does. I just don't know what that means, though, because like the .com bubble was a bubble, but we created the internet out of the back of it. So okay, by this standard of this analyst, then okay, there might be an AI bubble which is 17 times bigger, but then we're gonna have some shit which comes out of it, which is gonna be 17 times bigger. But it's also there's not really a bubble anymore, because if you actually look at the inflation-adjusted price of the stock market in the 1920s, it was extremely overvalued for what it should have been. But today, that's not the case. If you look at any inflation-adjusted charts of the stock market, of gold, of Bitcoin, none of them really represent any increase in value. Actually, real estate is pretty much fucking wrecked. It's like the value's not going up, the price is going up. It just feels more expensive if you don't own something that goes up in price. You know, it's not... I don't know. I don't think there's a bubble, really. I think what we're seeing is the price of things are rising in relation to the new circulating supply of currency, and actually things in rising in value are things that have a growth story. I don't know. I don't think... The word bubble's thrown around too much. Because...
You look forward to Neuralink?
Mate, I've heard this, and I've heard that Neuralink right now is the same type of technology for hearing aids, etc. And I don't think it's going to be that like massive when we first see it, but I don't know. I will have to see what Elon brings out, because he's the only one who really knows. But I would say that, yeah, it's probably going to be pretty decent in terms of... Imagine if you could do this. So this is what I always thought. You know when you have these like cloud computing services where you can rent out computation on like a server somewhere, and you do it with iCloud, or you do it with Google Drive. You're essentially renting server space somewhere else. What would be kind of cool is if you could essentially... It'd be better if it was a decentralized way of doing it, but it'd be quite cool if you could kind of, instead of having to have your own PC or your own compute or your own like massive graphics card and all this kind of shit, if you could have something that maybe connects to a zero latency computation system. Maybe your Neuralink connects to the internet, but it's like also compute, and you can just like walk around and just like talk to this thing, but it computes all the tasks instantly. So you say, oh, can you render me a video? Okay, I've been walking around town. I've managed to collect all of this information because you're recording it somehow. Can you render it into a video and post it on YouTube? That could be kind of cool. because then it would just do it for you in a cloud way. But I don't know. It's so weird to even think about how far we're going to get with it. I don't know. I think I will not do it first. Do you reckon you'll do it? Get a Neuralink?
No, mate, I'm not doing. I'll wait for the like the 5th version or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I'll,
I'm not
I'll let
beginning.
you go. I'll let you go first.
I'm not going first. You go first. I'm more
There's
valuable.
something quite cool. I watched that episode the other day with Joe Rogan and this Lucky Palmer guy, and they're talking about he invented the Oculus when he was quite young, and then he sold it to Facebook, etc. Made a few billion, and now he's doing like headsets and stuff for the military. But something he mentioned I thought was quite cool. He started talking about how AI could be used to crack animal languages. And
Oh,
just
mate,
how
that's
we're,
sick.
you know, I would have thought we should have done something like this already by now. When we've got AI, we can crack all sorts of codes. We've figured out, you know, we can read the human genome. Why can't we figure out what the dolphin's trying to say when he's like giving me jip off the back of the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah, how comes we don't know what they're
Imagine
saying
we
yet?
could
Like,
we could like give it back. Yeah, shut the fuck up.
yeah, we can translate it stuff with AI and then head back. But yeah, I don't know. That kind of links into Neuralink and stuff, and that whole they talked about as well a concept called uplift, where you can like raise the intelligence of animals.
Fucking hell.
If we'll be able to do that.
We got pigs walking around with little headsets on, coordinating invasions. You've seen
the.
I think though, like animals, it's weird though. I feel like animals kind of communicate in a different way. I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying like in a fundamental sense. Like if you look at how chimps, if chimps or they orientate themselves much more on like physical stuff, like they scratch each other's backs and stuff or whatever, or they go and clean, you know, a friend of theirs to show that they like them. It's like me coming into your room right now and giving you a nice comb over and saying that's because we're boys. I don't know, nah, bro, I don't know what's going on.
That woman talking about chimps and languages and stuff, that woman who figured out or worked really closely with chimps and monkeys, she died the other week. Jane something.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
She kind of inspired like some of the films and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, I think it's cool with AI and stuff. We just need to keep pumping money into it and just keep going with it, because it would be sick to be able to just tell your dog to.
You do get a lot of this though.
Or something.
You have got a lot. I saw this guy. He's a British guy, and he didn't like found any of the technology we use for it today, but he was like one of the first kind of. He kind of not invented it, but he kind of like understood that neural linked pathways can have intelligence. I can't remember his name. He's a British dude, and all he does on these things is say, I'm like really worried, like it's going to be more intelligent than every human combined. There's no human on this earth which is as intelligent as it right now, and all these things. So like, it does feel weird. It does feel weird that a computer, I don't know. The thing I think of though is I'm like, I don't think we can like put computers' intelligence in the same bracket as human intelligence, because human beings are essentially dictated by animal instincts. We're dictated by like feelings, like jealousy, hate, love, and we have this whole different dynamic of how we're like an animal, essentially expressing it through the way we communicate. But I just don't think a computer is going to like suddenly tap into this way of. It's going to be a different type of intelligence where it might be a little bit impossible to actually even comprehend what it is. Because it's just like, no, like why would a computer be like, let's wipe out the humans and build things? Like, why would it build things? Like, what's it going to build it for? Like, no, like it's going to be a weird world, but I don't think we got any way of, it's like when they have those AI models and they tell it to do shit and it always shocks them about what it does. They're like, what? Why the hell did it do that? And it's because I think it's just not thinking in the same way as a human being would think. Like, it hasn't got like morals or anything like that. It's very.
This is quite cool. This is quite cool. So they've put an electric implant into someone's eyeball and basically managed to restore his sight to a certain level.
Yeah, this is definitely going to happen. No, I can see this. They also did the genome thing with the monkeys, didn't they? Where they rolled back all of its genes or all of its cells back to like 18 years old when it was like old in monkey years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I sent it to my family group. Because obviously my parents are getting a bit older. I was like, listen, all we got to do is live for the next 10 fucking years, and we'll probably be able to roll you back to 18 years old in terms of a fundamental cellular level. But I've been seeing this for a while. There's a guy called, I think his name's John Sinclair. Don't quote me on the exact name. I think it's John Sinclair. And he was a big, he had a big breakthrough with like NMN and NAB+. And everyone knows about this now. The NAN, everyone knows about this kind of shit. But it literally shows you that there are ways of supplementing and your body ages significantly slower. And I don't think that we're at the end of that yet. I think we're going to see some really crazy complex science coming out where we can just like really slow down aging. I think we could probably live into the hundreds and hundreds at some point.
Do you reckon, what do you think about people that have those operations on their legs to make themselves like taller? Have you seen the TikToks and the videos of people? And it looks like the most horrific procedure where they break your legs, they put like the rods into your legs, and then you can barely walk for like 6 months or 8 months or whatever. And then eventually it seems like it kind of works though. And I've seen a lot of people have this procedure. But yeah, I reckon as time goes on, we'll be doing more and more sort of like body augmentation and
just whip yourself up to 6'9".
Yeah, I'm 6'9", brother. I had a bit of a growth spurt since I saw you last. But yeah, so you can make yourself young again. So you can go back to roll you back to when you're 18. You can make yourself taller, and then make yourself like cleverer as well, I guess.
Mate, so you can also probably make your dick bigger, and you need that.
Yeah, make it a little bit. No, right now I think you can only make.
That's definitely that's some wife-changing operation.
That's a wife-changing operation, yeah. Sure.
If I get a dick extension.
No, you can't get that. You can't. I don't think you can. I've done a lot of research into how you can make your dick better. And one of the things though,
one of the bottlenecks is like you just got to have the genes to do it.
From my 6 months research into it, I basically found out you could just make it wider and not longer.
You can make it look like a plate.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that anyway. But yeah, I think it's been a bit of a weird week, to be honest. We've had like these robberies happen. Well, it's only Monday. We've had a robbery at the Louvre, like Ocean's 11 style. We've had Amazon web servers going down. It looks like the Israel-Palestine, the ceasefire is about to fall apart.
Yeah, that's good.
Did you know that as well? They're all
they're all what then? They're not up for it. Oh, come on, Trump! You got to make a deal.
Israel, the IDF drew like this yellow line, no-go zone on the military maps and said, they're not allowed to come past this line as they're withdrawing. But it's not. There's no signs and there's no line like when you're there and stuff. So there's just a lot of confusion. And I think we talked about this before. There's so many more armed groups there than just Hamas. So it's like it's not cohesive. Everyone's doing their own shit, fighting amongst themselves. So they're just accusing each other of breaking the ceasefire. So it looks like
it's probably going to be a messy one. I don't know. Apart. The hostages was a good sign for me. I don't know. Like I said, I don't follow it that much, but that's a big thing, I think. Also, you got Trump's in there doing his thing. I just hope it ends fucking soon, and then he can get rid of the whole Putin thing. But it's like one of those, it's really for anyone to guess how long it's going to take. But I know it's going to happen in the next couple of years. Hopefully in the next couple.
I don't think it's going to happen quick for sure. Should we go back over a couple of like where we're at with some financial?
I think we'll just bounce, bruv. I think we're done. I think I think BTC is going to come down for a higher low around here somewhere. Come in here, nice little higher low, and continue. I think Bitcoin's going to continue up. Gold, I do think we're near a top, guys. If you look at the inflation adjusted, I think we're going to get at least some sort of pullback here, a retrace. It could go to 5,000 though. That's psychological. So I'd say $5,000 at the top. Also, this is super high. This is one of the fastest extensions we've ever seen. This goes back a long way. Obviously, we had this one, which was ridiculous. If we did have a fundamental collapse of a fiat currency, it won't be the US dollar first, but this could definitely be a driving factor for increased price of gold. But all I know is that we're probably going to get some sort of retrace here. And then I do think gold will likely maybe increase in purchasing power even further into the future if we do see fiat currencies begin to collapse, etc. And then with Bitcoin, we said it. Altcoins, who gives a shit right now? S&P, don't worry about it, guys. At the end of the day, it's look, there might be some sort of correction. It's by the dip, and then also the federal funds rate's coming down. You can see it right here. So that means there's going to be more money, which you can loan and get for a cheaper amount of interest, which is definitely going to inflate prices even further. This was interesting, you know. I like when you go down the rabbit holes.
Yeah, there's a couple of legends. Thanks for popping in BBL. Candy as well. Do you know Candy Makowski?
Yeah, she's been about. It says on my Google Analytics that last week's show that it was 100% male audience. So Candy, if you want to, you know, reveal anything about yourself that you're catfishing and you're actually a dude, please, you know, admit your guilt. But I would say, yeah, it's good, man. We're gonna do every single Monday. Me and Pete are gonna sit down, do the markets. The thing is about the markets is that people don't realize that markets go sideways and flat and do boring shit for longer than they trend. And the reason that Bitcoin's been so fiery for so many years is because it's so new. It's so unbelievably thought about in terms of what it can be and what it might not be. And there's loads of like disagreement around it. And that just creates super volatile market cycles for Bitcoin and altcoins. We know that. But because crypto is so new, it's got a lot of controversy around it. It's a small market, so a small amount of money can move the price a lot. But over time, things like Bitcoin will get boring as well. So that's why quite a lot of people do resort to looking at news stories and talking about that kind of stuff, because it's a little bit more on the ground. You can talk about it right now. So I'm up for doing a synergy of the two. And also, it's interesting to talk about other shit, except for SR levels and moving averages and indicators and fucking bots. But my company is MDX Algo, guys, and we do have great trading tools. So if you do want to get into trading, go to mdxalgo.com. We've got a big fucking update for the bots coming as well. We are building the bot. We're building the bot army.
The bots are kicking off. It's had some good calls recently.
The bot, our new guys, just when it launches, it'll be during Black Friday. But when the bot system is launched, it's going to be absolutely crazy. You can create an army of trading bots. You can see all the backtested results for 3 years. You can, you know, get one running and then close it off. Get another one running, close it off. It's all going to be really, really simple and click and play. All right, leggies. I will see you. I'm a female, but total town boy apparently. Legend Candy. All right, we'll see you on the next one, leggies. Have a good one.